Hey guys, Crypto Sunday and a nice green week off the back of a couple of bits of interesting news. So I'm £6,000 up for the week and thinking of adding a little bit more, to be honest. We've had some part of the news sort of makes me a little bit more bullish to buy some altcoins. So I'm considering sort of getting into a few of the smaller ones a little bit more, which are sort of further down the list for me. Quant Network, Basic Attention Token possibly, Internet Computer and VeChain possibly, maybe Power Ledger. So yeah, we'll see. Sort of, I'm doing a bit of research at the moment over the weekend, and I could have a little bit more of these by next week. So we'll see. Just having a look at some of the news. So Europe didn't want to wait for the US to be getting their spot ETF. Europe have had some products before. I held the one in my Trading 212 ISA, but that was an exchange traded note within a stock exchange traded product, so not quite the same as an ETF, but they have now approved their first spot ETF with Jacob Asset Management, so it's not quite like the US sort of BlackRock one. Obviously a much smaller fund, but yeah, it's a first at least, and I'm sure they're not going to leave it at that. They'll have sort of other approvals just to avoid sort of anti-competition rules, because Europe are heavily for that. So I'd imagine there'll be a few more from sort of probably some more well-known firms with the new sort of positive EU regulation. This one was actually due to go live in June 2022, July 2022, and was sort of set back by a number of issues, Terra Luna and FTX in November. They decided to sort of put it off for a little bit, I guess, because of the chaos sort of going on. But they now see the market conditions as sort of ripe and suitable to launch it. So yeah, we'll see what comes of this. And the pretty huge news, Ripple obviously have been in battle with the Securities and Exchange Commission in America for years and years now, and it's sort of people were wondering whether when it was going to end, if it was ever going to end, and they've sort of basically said that Ripple, as it is today, people trading it around today, is not a security, but the sort of sales that they did to institutional firms were a security. So sort of is being seen as hugely positive. Obviously, it does mean there's could still be fines, and obviously the SEC could still appeal. So not quite out of the woods, as they say, but people sort of buying and selling XRP on the market, not being a security, is pretty huge. Coinbase have sort of swiftly relisted it, or announced that they're relisting it on their exchange, because they took it off almost straight away, and yeah, it's seen a huge uptick, and this sort of spurred the altcoin market into life as well, because people are saying that if XRP isn't a security currently, then this sort of rule could be applied to other coins as well. So just that ripple effect, ripple effect sort of going round other coins, sort of thinking that if they're in the clear, they're very sort of similar situations, maybe a fine to pay, and sort of move on, basically. So yeah, this has put a rope fire under the altcoin market, and yeah, this was part of the reason that I've been looking to maybe buy some more altcoins that haven't sort of rocketed up too much just yet, but I'm still bullish on. If this rule does start getting applied round to various other tokens, then that could could be positive. But yeah, we'll see. As I say, I'm sure they're going to SEC will go to appeal, and there'll be sort of various things to come out of this. Maybe people have got the wrong end of the stick with it, and it's sort of worse than they were thinking. But a lot of lawyers obviously are reading quite detailed into the ruling, so they all seem to agree at the moment. We've got some good news come out of Hong Kong. This was sort of people were getting really bullish when Hong Kong opened up, and thinking that it was going to be an instant rocket to the moon. I don't think that was ever quite the case. It was always going to be a bit of a slow burn, but a bullish burn. And OKEx have onboarded 10,000 users in the first month. So whether these are sort of Chinese mainland citizens just getting a Hong Kong account, we're not sure, or whether this is just Hong Kong natives. But yeah, 10,000 accounts in 1 month is pretty good. And we'll sort of hope this can continue. If it is mainland China sort of natives using an account in Hong Kong, then there's obviously potential for thousands and thousands of people joining them, which could be very lucrative. They're able to purchase and trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Polygon, Solana, sort of all of the basically the top 20 coins or so, and they're not sort of going too far past that just yet. It seems they're not getting into derivatives either, just sort of the main tokens really, which is quite good for me because the vast majority of my holdings are sort of in the top 20. So yeah, we'll see sort of what comes of this. As I say, never thought Hong Kong was opening up was going to be a sort of instant shot in the arm. It was always sort of China getting slowly back towards positive on the space, and we'll see sort of if they can get more users over to Hong Kong from the mainland side. And the quarterly reports are starting to come out, so kind of see this like sort of quarterly earnings on the stock really. It's I sort of quite like these Masari reports. The Solana one came out, which I was eagerly awaiting, and yeah, sort of looking at most of the metrics, it's down basically. It's sort of relatively poor. Was kind of expected because it's been sort of a rough end to the quarter, even if it was sort of very positive May. But you got unique fee payers 15-16% up, which is pretty good. Transactions up as well, from sort of bottom in Q1, and yeah, they've sort of come up back up to above Q4 levels, which was pretty good. Obviously market cap don't really pay too much attention to. Total value locked, again I sort of look at that on DeFi Llama in Sol terms rather than in dollar terms. Again, sort of NFT sales volume would be better to look at in Sol terms, because this is just fluctuating price of Solana. But there you go. Active programs is down quite a bit, nearly 10%, which wasn't good. That's been sort of consistently down since Q3 last year, so that's not too good. But then a number of validators come down quite a bit as well, but Nakamoto coefficient has stayed the same, which is, or it's the same as Q4. It is sort of going up and down around 31, 32 for a year now. So not great, but sort of a few positives. Yeah, the NFT stats as well sort of look a little bit poor. The NFT secondary sales volume in Sol is down 43%, so it's not just a drop in the token price. The actual volume in Sol is down. Unique buyers down 40%, unique sellers down 42%. So yeah, basically everything is down. It's been sort of a bit of a rough time for NFTs at the moment. Certainly a lot of mine have gone down. But yeah, it's sort of been likened to, I quite like Real Vision and Raoul Pal, and he sort of likens the NFT market to the sort of luxury goods market, being that it really does well in a bull market and sort of exceptionally bad in a bear market. People sort of wanting to be in something a little bit more stable. You can actually put the sort of charts up against things like Rolex watches, and they sort of look quite similar. So that's interesting. Does mean you sort of lag behind in the bear market. It's sort of it's still going down when some things are sort of ticking up. So yeah, I'm continuing sort of buying some and accumulating some. So we'll see what comes of that. Maybe that'll be late to sort of get into a real bull market, and the actual coins will go first. But yeah, I'm not too concerned with that. They're sort of highlighting the use cases that I've highlighted before. So Helium moving over to Solana in Q2, and sort of Hive Mapper continuing to build on Solana. They've got up to, it's the sort of GPS mapping system. They've got up to 3 million miles now, and they were at 620,000 miles during Q1, so that's pretty good. That's 5x in 1 quarter basically, so that's good. Hopefully people want that data once it's all been sort of mapped out reasonably well. And quite a lot of development going on still. They're selling more phones, and they're sort of still one of the only projects to have any notable mobile sort of development at the moment. Certainly the phone helps that, and they have sort of said even if they sell, if they can sell 10,000 phones, they think that would be sort of reasonable success if those people are sort of heavy into crypto. And I think sort of if you're buying a $1,000 phone based on its crypto features, then you're probably going to be a reasonably serious crypto user, or sort of Solana user at least. And yeah, so they're moving phones. Haven't sort of got to the bottom of exactly how many they've sold, but I think they were getting towards sort of 4,000 or 5,000, so that's pretty good. Launched the ChatGPT plugin. Not sure how much of this is just jumping on the bandwagon, but they say it's really useful for querying all manner of different things on the chain, so that's good. Brave, the Solana name service, a domain registering system, so that's good. You can have sort of your own website basically on Solana through the Brave browser, which is good. And more sort of development toolkits and that sort of thing. Various sort of new projects being built, which is very, very good. And yeah, as they say, the road ahead. Firedancer still working on their second client implementation, which would be good. And yeah, number of different sort of grants being given out to various things. AI, you've got to be doing something with AI at the moment to get a bit of hype. But yeah, it's a sort of bad overall but acceptable report, and hopefully we're sort of bottoming, and the Q3 report will be better. So as I say, the actual crypto itself, I think, has bottomed sort of last year, but NFTs and sort of platforms that support them are still getting a little bit hit, so they might be lagging a little. But we'll keep an eye on Solana, of course. And then just looking at the coins for the week, you can tell it's a heavy altcoin week because Bitcoin is basically the only one that is down on the week. It's 1.3% down. Ethereum 2.6% up, so that's been pretty good. Solana really taking the news well from the XRP case, it seems. 26% up for the week. That's pretty good. Cardano sort of trailing behind, 11.37%, but still pretty good. XRP itself obviously has done pretty well. That's up 50.5% for the week, so very, very nice. Chainlink up 11.3%, pretty good. Matic up 17%. Audius up 6%. Power Ledger up 15%, but that has been very, very volatile at the moment. Sort of seeing what's coming out of them and considering making a little bit more of an investment, although it is very, very low cap for me at least, sort of in the low 200s. Quant, which I really like, and will probably be adding to them. They're down 2.8%, the only other one that's down other than Bitcoin. Gala up 5%, might be adding to them. Still all looks pretty good. Basic Attention Token 10.8% up. VeChain 3.5% up, and Internet Computer 2.5% up. So both of those do seem to be sort of still doing a hell of a lot of building. VeChain expanded their partnership with Walmart China, which sort of is obviously not the proper US Walmart, but it's just a small section of it. But certainly the Chinese seem to be saying, you know, VeChain is working for them, and they are a very sort of Chinese-focused token. So yeah, we'll see if the Chinese alone can push something, and or if other countries obviously can get into it. They do have a lot of partnerships from sort of Louis Vuitton and BMW and all sorts of companies, but a partnership isn't necessarily solid revenue for the company. So we'll see. But yeah, interesting week, and sort of I would think plenty more to come over the next few weeks. So leave your thoughts in comments below if you're buying anything, if you're taking profit and sort of wanting to get out a bit, and like and subscribe. See you soon.